I have a question for you. What purple McDonald's character, introduced in 1971 as part of McDonaldland, is known for his love of milkshakes? Hi, I'm Mark Ellison, host of the podcast 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Here's another question. What NFL team, founded in 1961, is known for its purple uniforms and Viking horn logo? No, the questions aren't always purple, but we do have theme days on 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Here's one more. What 1984 Prince film and album features the hit songs When Doves Cry and a song about rain? Follow 5 Daily Trivia Questions and come play along. Oh, and the answers: The Grimace, The Vikings, and Purple Rain. 5 Daily Trivia Questions wherever you get your shows. The number 5 Daily Trivia Questions.
In Washington, D.C., power flows through information. But what happens when the most sensitive military intelligence in the world ends up on the wrong phone? In the halls of power, a national security advisor makes a fatal miscalculation. On the other side of the world, a special forces team walks into a perfectly orchestrated trap. When the dust settles, 4 American soldiers are dead, 3 more captured. And the most catastrophic intelligence breach in modern history is just beginning to unravel. Signal Lost, a 6-part podcast thriller about betrayal, courage, and the devastating consequences of a world where even our most guarded communications are never truly secure. When everyone is listening, nowhere is safe. Signal Lost. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where car prices are up and the stock market is down, this is Ballot.
Which part of all that is great? Let's hit this. Hi, I'm Patrick Gutfield. The Trump administration is preparing to slash between 8 and 50% of federal employees across agencies. That's right. According to documents obtained by the Washington Post, we're looking at a government employee yard sale where everything must go. Housing and urban development might lose half its staff. That's 4,150 people. You know what that means? If you call HUD now, you'll get connected directly to Ben Carson's voicemail, which just plays a recording of him whispering houses for 3 minutes. The Interior Department would cut nearly 1 in 4 workers. Apparently, Trump decided national parks should be like the wilderness, rarely populated and impossible to get help when you need it. And the IRS? They're looking at losing 1 in 3 employees. Trump figures if there's nobody left to collect taxes, he won't have to worry about releasing his returns. That's just smart business. The National Science Foundation faces a 28% cut. I guess they finally proved their hypothesis. What happens when nobody funds science anymore? Turns out the answer is nothing good. The document shows the Education Department might cut staff by half. Just imagine, school funding applications will now be decided by a magic 8-ball with only 2 answers: very doubtful and ask again never. The White House claims this document is just a pre-deliberative draft, which is political speak for, oops, you weren't supposed to see our actual plans yet. If they were actual plans, we would have invited you to our group chat. Elon Musk went on Fox News yesterday to talk about his new government efficiency project, which has the totally serious and not at all ridiculous name of DOGE Service. That stands for Department of Government Efficiency, even though it's not actually a department. It's like when I call my bedroom the presidential suite. Sounds impressive, but it's just where I keep my socks. Musk announced he plans to cut $1 trillion in federal spending per year. $1 trillion! That's the kind of number Dr. Evil would ask for if he got an economics degree. And Musk claims they can do this without affecting any critical government services, which is exactly what I tell my barber right before he gives me a haircut that makes me look like I lost a fight with a lawnmower. Elon says this is just a 15% reduction in total spending, which seems really quite achievable. Sure, and dating Scarlett Johansson also seems really quite achievable if you ignore all practical reality the way Colin Jost did. Let's break down these numbers. The government spends about $1.5 trillion on Social Security, another $1.5 trillion on Medicare and Medicaid, and $1.7 trillion on military and debt interest. That leaves about $1 trillion in discretionary spending. So Musk's plan is basically to eliminate everything else. I guess the national parks will now be sponsored by Tesla. Old Faithful is now new Cybertruck. Musk showed up to the interview with 7 of his Doge pals, and they all had the look of tech bros who just discovered government work isn't like building an app. One of them, Steve, said stopping the country from going bankrupt is incredibly inspiring. Wow, what a visionary. Next, he'll tell us that not being on fire is a good career goal. Musk calls this whole thing a revolution that might be the biggest revolution in government since the original revolution. Right, because nothing says 1776 like a billionaire with 9 different companies deciding how much the government should spend on school lunches. Musk promised, "We're going to make sure that the website stays online." Wow, setting the bar really high there, Elon. Meanwhile, the Vance's Greenland adventure has a new itinerary. Second Lady Usha Vance was supposed to visit Greenland this week to watch a dog sled race, but suddenly those plans changed. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance is tagging along for a one-day tour of a U.S. space base instead. Nothing says romantic getaway like ballistic missile defense systems. J.D. announced he was joining on X, saying, "There was so much excitement around Usha's visit to Greenland that I decided I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself." Yeah, because when I think fun, I immediately think isolated Arctic military installation. That's why Disney never built Missile Defense Land. Too many people would want to go. The backdrop to all this is that Trump has been saying America needs to get Greenland one way or another, which sounds less like foreign policy and more like something you'd hear in a Heist movie or a Blondie song. The diamond is in Greenland, and we're gonna get it, one way or another. Trump already sent his son Jr. there in January, where he handed out free food and MAGA hats. Because nothing says we respect your sovereignty like treating a whole country like a campaign stop in Iowa. As crazy as this all sounds, it turns out Greenland has everything you need to make smartphones, batteries, and electric vehicles. Who knew the key to 21st century technology was buried under all that ice? It's like finding out your awkward cousin who collected stamps is secretly sitting on a Bitcoin fortune. A Danish parliament member said if the Vance had gone through with the original visit, they would have faced demonstrators with banners yelling, "Yankees, go home!" Which means the Danes are using the same chants as Mets fans. It's actually the nicest protest chant I've ever heard. Usually they're much more creative with what they want you to do and where they want you to go. J.D. Vance said, "We want to reinvigorate the security of the people of Greenland because we think it's important to protecting the security of the entire world." Translation: nice country you got there. Would be a shame if something happened to it. The funniest part? The fleet of vehicles meant to drive Usha around the capital are now being flown back to the US. I guess nobody told them you can't really do a motorcade in a place where dog sleds are the main transportation. Sir, the beast keeps getting stuck in snowdrifts, and the Secret Service agents are being outrun by huskies. Trump just announced a 25% tariff on imported cars and parts. When asked if this might be temporary, Trump said, "Oh, this is permanent, yeah, 100%, yeah." That's how you know a policy is well thought out, when it sounds like someone confirming plans for happy hour. And by permanent, he means until President Newsom gets rid of them and renames the Gulf of America. Trump claims people will be pleasantly surprised by these tariffs. Yeah, in the same way you're pleasantly surprised when you check your bank account after a night out and discover you bought drinks for the entire bar. The experts say prices on all vehicles will rise because turns out every single car sold in America has at least some parts from other countries. Even Tesla, which Trump loves to talk about, gets parts from overseas. The auto industry is more international than the cast of The Bachelor. According to economic analysts, these tariffs could increase the average price of a new car by anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000. And electric vehicles? Add $12,000 or more to the sticker price. That's not a tariff. That's a down payment on a second car. And this isn't great timing. Car buyers are already dealing with high interest rates and prices that make you wonder if each vehicle comes with its own private island. Now we're adding tariffs to the mix? That's like telling someone with a broken leg, good news, we're also going to break your arm to distract you from the pain. Trump initially gave a month-long exemption to some car manufacturers, but then decided, nah, let's just do this now. And the stock market just loves such uncertainty. The car shopping experts say if you need a car now, don't wait. Buy before these tariffs kick in. But if you're just casually shopping, maybe hold off to see how the market adjusts. It's like dating advice. If you've found the one, lock it down. If you're just swiping on apps, maybe wait until the economy isn't having a midlife crisis. Also, I can tell you from experience, make sure your car has real headlights. Those fake ones look good, but they aren't as much fun to touch. Portions of today's show were made with the help of JD, AI, and Double D's.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac. I host a podcast called Daily Comedy News. Now, this weekend, special shows. 20 years ago, we lost the great Mitch Hedberg at age 37. This weekend, we'll celebrate the comedian whose one-liners and unique delivery changed stand-up forever. Join me as we remember Mitch Hedberg's journey, his unforgettable jokes, and why his comedy still hits 2 decades later. That's all this weekend on Daily Comedy News. And remember, we used to laugh at Mitch. We still do, but we used to too. All right, wherever you get your shows.